seems to be in the headlines, talking about issues that, quite frankly, don't matter as much as, say, the economy or the debt and some of the other things Congressman Bass mentioned. I'm sure we're going to hear a lot of today. You know, I've got to say, I don't envy the task any of you have running for office. I really don't. I never have. And going door to door, begging strangers, and people you know to support you with money and votes. It seems difficult. It's not easy. Then you have people like me who go on the radio ripping into you because I stubbed my toe that morning, so sorry guys, apologize. But the reality is here that you have an even more hostile media that are going to come up against you, and they automatically question you, they go after you because you have an R next to your name. Like I said, I'm not envious of the position you're in. However, there is opportunity. I'm going to lay out a strange concept here to a lot of you. I know it's going to be weird, but when you're campaigning, you're making a promise to whomever you're speaking to. You're making a promise. And I know it's shocking, but we've seen both in the governor's chair and the legislature, to local positions, to officials we elect, they come back and say, well, we have a different set of circumstances, we need to compromise, we need to change our principles, we need to change what we said we were going to do when we got here. I'm sorry, I just don't accept that. I'm not saying there's room for conversation or discussing with other lawmakers, nor should you think of compromise as a bad word. However, we should be working towards persuasion, towards trying to tell the other side what we're all about. And conservatism, when it's stated, always wins. There are polls. Thank you. There are polls, and the minority, in this case Democrats, they love to quote, a majority of people want Congress to get along. A majority of people want bipartisanship. Play nice in the sandbox. And what we've seen is when politicians actually start listening to those polls. We don't have a budget in the United States Senate for over, what is it, 1,200 days now? Does anybody have a count on that? That's what ends up happening. Okay? However, when elected officials and those running for office start trying to persuade the electorate and the other side, we start to see a conversation, a real conversation, not just political talk. We start hearing about class war, a war on women, a race war, a war on religion, all this nonsense that starts coming out. Now, none of these actually exist, but they're nice, shiny walls that the media always seems to glom onto. Isn't that odd? The president is already there. He's already running a campaign of fear. Republicans will be portrayed as angry, anti-women, super wealthy, hillbillies, their guns and their Bibles. We've seen that campaign already start. I know. And, you know, if you think those attacks are going to be isolated to the presidential race, you're mistaken. It's going to come down to the most local of local races, and it'll be a rude awakening if you're not ready for it. So, how do you win? When your message about business, taxes, and education funding is lost among the more sexy and fictitious wars your opposition is going to be talking about, always remember, people go into the polls, they listen to their hearts, their heads, and their friends, and they care most about their family and themselves. You win by stating facts and talking about a conservative vision of less government, less taxes, more self-reliance, more local control. Tie every issue back to that, and you're going to win. Thank you very much for having me today. I look forward.
Croc TV.